Hi, this is Nick Matthias. I am the principal bass trombone for the Cinematic Symphony Orchestra, Video Game Orchestra, Suburban Symphony Orchestra, Cleveland Repertory Orchestra, and many more. I wanted to start doing a series of videos where I hand out advice that I've learned, and whether or not it's helpful to everyone, I find it to be helpful to me, and I'd like to share it. And I especially wanted to start the series before I head out to my auditions at those prestigious schools I listed in my post, since a lot of those auditions and the acceptances will take up a lot of my time. Coming up here in the spring semesters, especially MSM, a lot of hard work there. But today I wanted to talk about buzzing and the centering of notes through buzzing. No matter what level you're on, 5th grade, earlier, I started a bit earlier, 5th grade or earlier, or even professional, I strongly believe in buzzing. It's just an essential. Now, do you have to buzz for everything? No. And I don't encourage you to buzz for everything, because if you overexhaust it, and if you buzz incorrectly, one or the other, it can lead to poor playing. There's a secret balance that you have to achieve, and it will just take you a lot of time. All of that aside, oftentimes what you will hear teachers say when it comes to buzzing notes and centering them is sitting at the piano, running your fingers up the scale. I usually choose a chromatic scale or C major scale, and I just buzz along the piano. That's helpful. Or what you'll get a lot of people doing is they'll put half a finger over this and just kind of gliss. With slight emphasis on the notes that they want to hit. B flat major is what I did. But what a lot of people don't talk about is the correct way to tongue and to center notes. And one way that, one thing that a lot of people forget about is that centering notes is not something that always comes with time. Of course, a lot of us can spend time hitting our heads against the wall until we finally break it and we get a moment of clarity where everything's in tune. But of course, there are little shortcuts for any age level. One must first understand that buzzing is muscle memory, purely muscle memory. Now, of course, if you put the horn down for a month and pick it up and you play in the horn will do a lot of the work for you. As far as generalized notes, like it'll generally be a B flat or a D flat. It'll be within the range of that note. It won't be centered though. And that comes down to just this, centering the note. I personally use the Heritage Dennis Wake mouthpiece as per my little sponsorship here, basically ambassador artist, but use whatever mouthpiece you have. And I actually recommend this to anyone picking up a new mouthpiece, is before you even put it in the horn, or after you've tried out in the horn, take it out of the horn for a bit and just adjust your embouchure and muscle memory, because it will be shifted and your tuning will be slightly off from what it used to be. Now, onto the main portion of the video. There is something that I can't put a name to, but when I was in a lesson and what I studied in one of my classes for trombone pedagogy was a sort of stopped breathing or stopped buzzing. I guess I could use to describe it. It's where you have an open airstream, right? And you're not buzzing, you're not tonguing, because when you go, this part of the throat can close. And that's a whole different story. But what you want is you want to go, make sure your embouchure is tight, no air is escaping. This is also a great way to test that. But make sure there's no air escaping. And what you want to do is what I just did. Now you can choose 2 for me, in my opinion, you can choose two types of articulation. There's ha and then da. And this also goes back to my study with the Ben Dyke books, where he strongly emphasizes and I strongly encourage that type of articulation, really. A lot of it boils down to a ha or da. Now, there are other types of articulations, but when you're playing, mainly when you want open sound or buzzing, that's what you do. So you put your finger over the end of your mouthpiece, tight embouchure, and you want to pick a note. And this is sort of the way you test your muscle memory. So I want to play just up the partial, like that. Once I have it in my head, I can try my hardest, and we'll see. And you can see where your improvements need to be made. And I'm not perfect. I'm a young professional. I'm learning. But a lot of what you hear, where you hear me go da, 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 is my muscle memory of the mouthpiece and where I start all of my notes in the horn. The key to keeping a centered sound is to simply and you'll hear it there as well. But like I said, this is just another exercise. This is just to test your muscle memory upon the moment your buzz starts. The moment air and buzz leave this mouthpiece, that's your way of testing it. That sort of stuff. Before you get to this level, I mean, obviously, you want to gliss and slur your mouthpiece, add some, add some sort of restraint on the air. But I think that this can serve greatly. And it can also solve a lot of other things I'll be talking about in another video. But this is just a small piece of advice. It's a small little exercise. I'm not perfect at it. I don't proclaim to be perfect at it, but I think it's helpful to everyone who I've taught it to. And it's really improved a lot. And it really emphasizes and brings into a daily practice the idea that buzzing is muscle memory. And it really brings into focus what we need to work on. You hear those glisses in my tone. You hear me pulling it down or buzzing it down, lifting it down, wherever, up or down. You hear all that upon me leaving the end of the mouthpiece with my finger. You hear it instantly, all of the flaws. And of course, this is very exposing for me to put out there, but it's just where I stand as of this moment today. It's different every day. It's always going to be that way. But that's what I need to work on. And it's just a nice little practice. So